if you're thinking about visiting Hoi An, Vietnam, here's my real numbers for a weekend trip, 2 night, 3 day for two people, trip to Hoi An, Vietnam I recently took. I'm going to be breaking down the numbers and what you can expect in terms of cost, accommodation, and things that are worth doing while you're there. Also, a big mistake I've almost made that could have lost hundreds of dollars during this trip to Hoi An, Vietnam. So stay till the end. I'll show you what this pitfall is and how to avoid it. This trip was for two people, 2 nights, 3 days, trip from Da Nang to Hoi An, Vietnam and back. So knowing it's a local travel within Vietnam, it's relatively cheap because we don't have to factor in interline flights from the US or North America or anything like that. It's just a quick weekend trip, a Grab ride from Da Nang, Vietnam, about an hour or 30 minutes. And then round trip, it costs 20, $30 by Grab ride. You can even take a Grab motorcycle if you want, and it will be even cheaper. So number one is the accommodation. You can obviously stay any range of hotels and accommodations there. We booked a budget hotel on the medium level. It cost us about $25.68 per night. That's less than $15 per person per night. And altogether, it came up to $51 for two people for 2 nights. Oh, from the moment you walk in this hotel, they welcome you with refreshing scented cooling towels, and they give you welcome drinks, and they show you to your room, and it's just amazing. The only downside of this hotel is that we got they were out of king rooms at the time, and we got the two single bedrooms, and it was a little bit small for a comfort. Now you can spend a little bit more, about $50 to $70 a night, and get a lot nicer hotels than this. Honestly, this hotel we were pretty happy with. This hotel does come with free breakfast, pool access, and it's walking distance to the beach. And if you want to go to the old town or the market, the night market, you can just take a Grab ride or Grab taxi. And it's really nice. One of the reasons we chose this hotel was, one, it was walking distance to the beach, and two, it was away from the hustle and the bustle, away from the old town. We didn't like to be in the center of all the noise and all of that. If you wanted to, we can go visit. But as far as our place of accommodation, we like to keep it quiet and more relaxed and chill atmosphere. So that's another reason we chose this hotel. This is about 15-minute walk to the beach. In fact, we went to the beach one of the mornings and just chill there from the hotel. It's walkable. You'll pass by a few little shops on the street on your way to the beach. The thing is, it was just simply too hot to stay at the beach. And so we didn't stay there very long, but you can rent out a cabana for the day or a bed or, one of those chairs at the beach. You can rent it out for a few hours or a day at the time. And it's very feasible, especially if the weather is nice, if you can tolerate the heat. It's nice that you can just walk to the beach. When you wake up, right across the hotel, there is just rice fields, the classic Hoi An, Vietnam scene that you see, and people riding their bicycles right by the rice fields. It's just beautiful, super chill, relaxed, and just zen moment. You can grab your coffee from breakfast and sit out there and just watch the rice fields and the people riding the bicycle by the rice fields going by. And it is the classic Hoi An scene in the peaceful environment. Now, the pool was nice. It stayed open till 9 or 10 o'clock at night. There was only a few people at a time. We did enjoy the pool a couple of nights that we were there. Now, let's move on to transportation. Because we were staying in Da Nang, it was just an easy Grab ride to Hoi An and back. Now, because of the hotel where it was located, it was closer to the beach and away from the old town. When we wanted to go to the night market in the old town, we just called the Grab and went over there. Not a big deal. Round trip, it cost us about 30 from Da Nang to Hoi An, and then a couple of local rides there. It's very affordable to take rides on Grab once you on the ground in Vietnam. So it wasn't very much. So as far as food, the hotel had food, like I said, amazing breakfast. You could also order food through Grab. They do deliver there. We did quite a bit of Grab deliveries while we were there. And then we also ate outside at restaurants, dining in. Right next to the hotel, literally next door, you can take a coffee class there and coffee making class. You would have to make the arrangements ahead of time. But We showed up a little bit late for it, for the coffee class, so we didn't. But if you wanted to take an amazing Vietnamese coffee class, it's available right next door. Next is activities. Now, Hoi An is famous for its lantern-lit streets and beautiful rice fields and the historic scenic views and places you can visit in Old Town and the night market. So we did go to all of that. We went to the beach. Beach was pretty chill, except we had one issue with the beach, and I'll tell you at the end after I go through activities. Now, we did do several different activities and excursions. One morning, we just spent it at the beach, and another towards the evening, we did go to the old town that I work in. It was beautiful, the lit up streets, but it was crowded. Lantern boat rides along the river, but you just know you are surrounded and crowded just nonstop. There's hardly any space for 2, 3 steps at a time. It is very crowded at night in the old town. And you can take those beautiful lanterns for the Instagram photos or reels or whatever. But we didn't want to do that. It was too crowded for my comfort. I like to stay away from the crowded touristy places, but it was worth visiting. We went and saw it, experienced it. A little bit too crowded. We had a nice dinner at one of the restaurants there and just saw kind of what all the hype was about. And then we came back. That was all the crowd I could handle. Now for our favorite activity that we did in Hoi An was the Coconut River boat ride that we booked on Agoda. It cost about $5 to $7 per person in the US dollars. And you can buy the ticket or arrange it ahead of time. And that had a good amount of crowd as well, but it wasn't as bad as the Old Town or the Lantern Boat at night. Now, the Coconut River ride is during the day, and I'll show you a little bit of footage of what we saw, where they would take you on these traditional round boats the Vietnamese use and go down this coconut river where there's old coconut trees, and you can even see in the water some of the coconuts there just falling off. And it is really beautiful, very peaceful. Definitely worth trying. They put on the Vietnamese hat for you, and some of the guys, the boat guides, would spin the boat and dance, and they play really fun music. As you can see, they have a lot of fun, these guys. That was definitely worth trying. If you were planning on going to Hoi An, I would definitely recommend go try the Coconut River boat ride. But if you like the crowds and the lanterns at night, you might do that. But if you like a little bit less crowded places, but still like to enjoy activities, I would recommend the Coconut River. The other thing you can do, what draws a lot of tourists in Hoi An, is custom-made tailored clothes. Now, we didn't try that, but they're very famous for their custom tailored suits and custom tailored clothes in Hoi An. If you want to experience that, you might go do that. Oh, by the way, we almost got scammed by this lady who wanted to sell us freshwater pearls right by the beach. And when you're just lounging on the lounge chairs, just soaking up some sun, these vendors would come, and some of them are very pushy. And if you're not careful, they might coerce you into buying something that may or may not be legitimate. And these freshwater pearls were very expensive. Who knows? Maybe they're legitimate. Maybe it's a good deal. Maybe it's not. I have no way of knowing. And that made it very difficult just to ward off all these merchants that were coming every few minutes. And which is why we just, at the end of after a while of being at the beach, we just packed up and went back to a hotel, because it was getting to the point where it was becoming uncomfortable to constantly having to say no thank you, or you have to feel like you're obliged to buy some of the stuff they were offering. Watch out for that. If you go to a beach in Hoi An, or if you go anywhere else in Hoi An, Vietnam, watch out for scammers and other people who are presenting to sell legitimate freshwater pearls. It may be legitimate, maybe not. You don't know. I don't know. Unless you're expert, watch out for people who are trying to sell you super high-end jewelry and pearls and things like that. That is one easy way to get scammed and ripped off in the country that you don't know. So be sure to avoid those scammers. You can very well make a trip to Hoi An for a weekend, 2-3 days, for two people, relatively comfortable within $100 to $200, depending on what kind of activities you want to do, what kind of hotels, accommodation you want to stay at. You can pay a little bit more or a little bit less. There's more affordable places as well. You can even probably do it under $100, 50 to $100 if you wanted to, or you can pay a little bit more, couple $100 for the weekend and stay at a really nice place and go at your own leisure and do a lot of these activities that people come to Hoi An for. But have fun and plan your next visit to Hoi An, Vietnam. Hope this was helpful to you. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click like and subscribe for more videos like this. See you next time.